Hello students, welcome to GSP Tutorial 4. Make sure you have completed Tutorial 3 before proceeding with this tutorial. In Tutorial 3, we learned how to draw a variety of angles and measure them as well. So in terms of geometry, the next level up from angles is polygons. So that's the focus of this tutorial. So let's go to File, New Sketch. If you close Geometer Sketchpad, then please open it by double-clicking GSP5. Let's begin with our main title. Using the text tool, let's type in Tutorial 4, Drawing Polygons. I'm going to highlight the title, change the font away from Times New Roman and away from Arial. And for these tutorials, we've been using size 24 for the title, bolding them and underlining them. I'm going to switch tools to the selection arrow tool and drag that text box to the center and top of my screen. And I'm going to deselect, click on any white area. Let's create the name box. Let's click on the text tool. Drag a box, by, colon, first name, last name, class. Highlight that information. Take off the underline, take off the bold, make it italics, and we've been changing this font size to 16 for these tutorials. Click on the arrow tool and move that box directly underneath the title and deselect. Alright, I want to start with drawing an angle. Actually, let's go up to Edit, Preferences. Now for the last couple tutorials, we've been changing the precision of the angles to units. So let's do that. And in tutorial 1, we changed the precision of the distance from hundredths to tenths. So let's do that. And let's click OK. So I'm going to start with drawing an angle. So we're going to review a little bit from tutorial 3. I'm going to click on the segment straight edge tool or the line tool. And I'm going to draw an angle. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that angle by joining the two endpoints. So in essence, I've created a triangle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the triangle much bigger so that I have a lot more room. So I switch tools to the arrow tool, and now I'm pulling apart the three vertices. So I've got a lot more room. Maybe what I'll do is I'll grab the entire triangle by dragging a box around it and moving it to the middle or towards the middle. And I'm going to deselect. All right. So we know that every triangle has three interior angles. Got one there, we've got one here, and we've got one here. Okay? Now interior simply means inside. So these are the three angles that are on the inside of a triangle. So let's go about measuring these three angles. So I'm going to switch tools to the arrow tool, and I'm going to deselect. Now, when I go to measure an angle, I have to really focus on one angle at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this angle first, right here. Okay. So if I'm focusing on this angle right here, this is the vertex. So I'm going to use the EVE rule. This is the endpoint, this is the vertex, and this is the last endpoint. So what I'm doing is I'm deconstructing this triangle into 3 separate angles. So what I'm doing is I'm measuring this angle first. So endpoint, vertex, endpoint. Go up to measure and choose angle. Now, because we set the precision for angles to units, I shouldn't have any decimals. So I've got angle ABC. Now, I have to make sure of where I place this measurement. So the simple rule is, when I look at the measurement, I look at the middle letter. The middle letter is B. The middle letter is the vertex. So I line up the middle letter B on the B corner. Now I know that because that was the angle that I was measuring. Now if your triangle is big enough, you can maybe place the measurement inside. I can always reduce the size of the font of that measurement and place it inside. Or if you don't have enough room, place it just on the outside. So that takes care of this angle right here. So I'm going to get rid of this part of the diagram. So now I want to measure this angle right here. Okay. So what I'm doing is, if I were to deconstruct this triangle, I am going to take this part off. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. Now I'm going to measure this angle here. So this is the vertex, so I want to click that second. So let's go endpoint, vertex, endpoint. I go up to measure, and I go to angle. Now, where to place this angle measurement? I look for the middle letter. The middle letter is C, so I want to line it up at the C corner. Now again, if it fits inside, great, but if it doesn't, you can keep it on the outside. So now I've measured 2 of the angles. Now it just so happens that in my triangle, the 2 angle measurements are different. Yours may be the same, yours may be quite a bit different. It doesn't matter. All right. Let's get rid of this. Oh, what we haven't done is we haven't done an initial save. I apologize. So let's go to File, Save As. Let's save it in your student number under the word computer as Tutorial4. Hit save. All right, let's measure the last angle inside this triangle. So if I were to deconstruct this triangle and take out this angle, this is what I'm measuring. This angle right here. Okay, so let's use the EVE rule. Remember, this is the vertex. So I'm going to click endpoint, vertex, endpoint. I'm going to go up to measure and choose angle. So where should I place this angle? I look at the middle letter. The middle letter is A, and I'm going to move that to the A corner. Now sometimes we end up measuring the same angle by accident. So here's what I mean. If I go to measure this, and then I look at the middle letter is C, okay? And sometimes I accidentally put it on this corner. But then you've always got to check, okay, the middle letter is C, and this is the A point. So this shouldn't be here. This should be over here. Now you can see, oh, wait, I've already measured this angle. So I can delete that. So we have our 3 measurements added to, here outside of our triangle. So let me get rid of this. Here we go. Now I'm going to get rid of these little pencil marks. There we go. Okay. Now, if I inspect this triangle and I see that all 3 angles are different, then there is a special name for this type of triangle. Now, with your triangle, If you have any two angles that are the same, or if you have all three angles that are the same, could you please click on one of the points and move that point so that all three angles are different? So once you've drawn a triangle, it's very easy to adjust that triangle and make it any type of different triangle. So the reason why I asked you to make sure that all three angles are different is because I want to make a point of drawing a scalene triangle. So let's create a text box and let's write a little conclusion or label underneath. This is a scalene triangle. I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to take off the italics. I'm going to put the bold on and maybe increase the font a bit. Okay, this is a scalene triangle. So I've measured the three angles and I've discovered that all three angles are different. Therefore, this is a scalene triangle. Now let's measure the lengths of the triangles. This is much easier to do. We don't click on the endpoints. We simply click on the line and we go to measure and we're looking for length. So I'm going to click on length. I'm going to move that measurement and I'm going to move it right on the side that I measured. Now remember, I clicked on this line, so that's the line segment that I'm measuring. It is 12.3 centimeters long. I'm going to deselect. I'm going to click on this line segment. I'm going to go to measure, length. I'm going to move that measurement on the side that I just measured. And then let's click on the last line segment and go to measure, length. And let's move that measurement underneath the triangle. There we go. So not only have I measured the three angles and proven that they are different, but I've also measured the three sides and proven that all three sides are different as well. So this is indeed a scalene triangle. Okay, a couple more things before we finish this tutorial. Let's say I want to color the triangle inside. Now, I don't mean coloring the lines. We already know how to do that. If I wanted you to color the lines, you click on all three lines and you go to Display, Color, and then you can change the color. So how about I'll use black this time. But let's say I want to color inside the triangle. So to color inside any object, whether it's a triangle, a quadrilateral, a pentagon, a hexagon, it doesn't matter. I click on the 3 points in clockwise order. Now clockwise order goes in this way. So I'm going to start at the top, I'm going to click on this point, and then I'm going to click on the last point. This is clockwise order. I'm going to use the construct menu for the first time. Let's go to construct, and I'm going to look for triangle interior. Now, if you're trying to color in a quadrilateral, it will say quadrilateral interior. If you're trying to color in a pentagon, it will say a pentagon interior. If you've got a weird shape, it will say polygon interior. So let's click on triangle interior, and you see how it fills in. Now, right now it's not solid, but if you deselect, you'll see that it is solid. If you want to change the color of the interior, you simply right-click inside the triangle, and you can change the color. Could make it bright green. Okay, let's do one more thing. Let's say I want to add up the sum of the three angles. So Geometer Sketchpad has a very cool calculator embedded in the program. So that calculator is found in the number menu. So if I click on the number menu, and I'm going to go down to calculate. When I click on calculate, this is the calculator. Now, unlike a normal calculator, I want you to try to avoid using the number pad. So how do we measure or add up the angles if I'm telling you not to use the number pad? Well, this is how easy it is. Let's click on one angle measurement, and when you click on it, it will actually place it in the calculator. And then let's press plus. And then let's click on the next angle measurement. And then I'll press plus. and then I'll click on the last angle measurement. And there's no equal sign in this calculator, so I'll just click OK. Now you see what I've done. You see the geometry here. There's no numbers. There's only the angle labels. When I click OK, I have the sum of the three angles. And if you know anything about triangles, you know that the sum of every triangle is always going to be 180 degrees. Okay, I think that concludes this tutorial. Let's go to File, Save. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Good luck with all of your assignments. Bye.